They gave Nike the best publicity ever when they banned the Air Jordan, which only made them hotter in the streets.
In the mid-1980s, 82, 83, I guess, Nike was going to finally sign a pro player that was going to be a signature shoe, which is a new term at that time. And it was a very good draft class at 1984, a very good draft class. And it came down to selecting somebody. So they asked me, what do I do? And I just said, give it to the kid. If you're going to name a shoe after a high flyer, how the hell can you give it 2 or 3? There's only one chief. I said, give it all to Jordan. He has what you want.
Doherty to Jordan, sprigs out on him, good coverage defensively, he still hit it. Oh, what presence of mind. It's amazing what the freshman can do.
Nike's executives decided to plow their entire budget into this young Michael Jordan who had never played an NBA game.
You know, these conversations of Jordan getting his own shoe came his rookie year, but they waited before they actually launched it. And the lead up to that was beautiful because what they did is put the shoes on Jordan so you could see him playing.
The first time he wore the shoes, he wore them in New York at an exhibition game, a preseason game. But they're out doing their warm-up drills, and all of a sudden, there's a bunch of kids start gathering, and they're all pointing at his shoes. David Falk happens to be sitting in the arena, and he wants to know what all this is about, what's going on here. And they tell him, oh, Jordan's got on these crazy shoes, and sure enough, the shoes get banned.
At that time, David Stern, who was head of the NBA, had a rule that only white footwear was allowed on the court. Stern saw these shoes and said, that's against the rules, you can't do it.
We told Michael and Nike that whatever shoe he was wearing didn't conform, so would they please change it?
And Rob said, so what are you going to do, fine him? Go ahead and fine him. Nike will cover him.
It became the shoe that was banned by the NBA with an implication that it was because it made Michael such a good basketball player.
On September 15th, Nike created a revolutionary new basketball shoe. On October 18th, the NBA threw them out of the game. Fortunately, the NBA can't stop you from wearing them.
They gave Nike the best publicity ever when they banned the Air Jordan, which only made them hotter in the street.
There's no question that the fact that the shoes were banned helped to sell the shoes. Kids like that stuff, particularly the inner city kid, he loves that stuff. I'm wearing something I'm not supposed to be wearing. Perfect. Couldn't be better.
And all of a sudden, overnight, it was just like everybody wanted them. They were being sold on the street corners for hundreds of dollars.
The first time we showed Foot Locker, for example, which is the biggest retailer in America, they only wanted 5,000 pairs for all their stores. Within a week, they called and wanted 150,000 pairs.
The shoes were anti-establishment. You know what I'm saying? So the hood is anti-establishment. It's almost like it were made to be for each other.
The band helped, no question about it. I mean, Rob Strasser wrote David a thank you note. And as Rob was leaving his office, he said, I have one thing to ask that you do. And Rob turns around and says, what? Can you send me a pair of the band shoes? My son wants them. He thinks I'm a jerk.
The Air Jordan was something that kind of transcended all these different borders that hadn't really been transcended before. The fact that it comes out after he plays in the All-Star game, after he's in his first dunk contest, by the time that shoe finally hit the market, they were just gone.
I think we sold over 1 million pairs of shoes in 1 year, which is, in those days, was a lot. It wasn't started slowly and built to a big fire. It started as a giant fire. I mean, it was a big fire from day one.